Good afternoon to you. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here. Thanks for standing by, sticking with us here. Just waiting just a moment to get the stream going, letting folks join in, and also working on a First Alert Weather App video that I just put in the First Alert Weather App, which has some similar information to what we're going to be discussing here throughout the duration of this Atlanta News First Plus stream, solely focused on the First Alert forecast and the fact that today and tomorrow are First Alert weather days. The reason for tomorrow's First Alert weather day, a very widespread heavy rain event with embedded severe thunderstorms, a possibility as we get into our Sunday. Again, I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a full forecast update. Want to remind you as we go through this stream, there are two places where you can ask weather questions, get some clarification on the First Alert forecast, one of which is on YouTube. Watching that stream right now, folks are watching as well, and haven't had any questions come in, but want to remind you that if you are not watching on YouTube, you would like to ask a question, you can simply pull out your smartphone, or if you have YouTube TV, anything like that, and watch the stream. Wesley Millsap now watching on YouTube, and Ackworth, thank you for tuning in and for watching. So you can stream and comment, get that answer all at the same time, or maybe you're on Roku, Amazon Fire, and the Atlanta News First app, or First Alert Weather app, any of those applications or places, streaming platforms. All you have to do is text us, 470-777-WANF. Again, going to go ahead and pop that up for you, 470-777-WANF. That is 470-777-9263. And if you missed any of those two suggestions, the places where you can ask your weather questions, just bear with me, and every now and then I'll kind of bring that back up. I want to go ahead and take you to First Alert Radar with temperatures overlaid. Temperatures have actually warmed up a little bit despite the gloom across North Georgia. Upper 40s, lower 50s around the immediate metro. We do have rain still falling right now. And not just the drizzle we had earlier, actually some heavier rain showers developing and moving through. Case in point, this is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. A live look, and you can see low visibility. It is raining heavily there. We've had two quick little showers here at Atlanta News First and West to Midtown, 14th and McCaslin. And these rain showers not producing any thunder and lightning yet. They're not, associated. This rain is not associated with thunderstorms. However, indicating that we have moisture moving in and that the environment is becoming a little bit more favorable for some heavier downpours, not just the drizzle that we have had so far today. So the purpose of this forecast, we're going to walk you through what's going on right now, where it's raining, quick tracks for you around the metro in case you're about to leave the house, head out. It is a Saturday, basically a holiday weekend, with Hanukkah beginning the 25th and Christmas, of course, on the 25th. And so it is a busy weekend for so many. And then we're going to go deeper into the forecast overnight tonight into tomorrow, walk you hour by hour through storms' arrival and departure and the risk of severe weather that may occur with a few of those storms. So again, we are tracking rain showers right now across North Georgia. Today is a First Alert weather day. We're tracking evening rain, late afternoon, evening, coming up on 5 p.m. now. And we are seeing some of these heavy rain showers, basically all of them moving kind of southwest and northeast in a sense. Not everyone's getting poured on, but you're getting these quick little downpours moving through. Case in point, Alpharetta, it's already been raining. We have a heavier shower on the south end of town, and this is going to be moving northward here pretty quickly. I mean, they're kind of forming quickly, then zipping quickly off to the north, moving southwest to northeast, or maybe south-southwest to north-northeast. In general, though, that movement is expected to continue with these showers on through the rest of the evening. I'm going to track this particular little quick downpour moving through North Fulton. Keep in mind, it's still chilly out there. So this is a heavy rain, but a chilly rain that is moving through North Fulton right now. And again, tracking this into Forsyth County, into the Alpharetta community. Already raining there, but you need a little burst of heavy rain moving in from the south here momentarily. Into Milton by 5 p.m., into the Drew community by 5:11, Silver City 5:25, and Doherty, if it holds together on its current heading, about 5:33. Again, we're seeing these kind of initially develop and then really move quickly. So it could, by a minute or two, arrive even earlier. So just make sure in the general vicinity of those times that you're ready for that increase in rain. You don't want to, get out of the car and then have it start pouring as you're walking through the parking lot, going to the grocery store, for example. Again, lots of gloom at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Actually, though, as I look at radar, not too much going on around the airport. We had a quick little downpour earlier, probably have a lot of moisture on the lens, maybe some of that fog setting in as well, in addition to the showers out there at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. You see that one quick little shower. In fact, these are moving quickly enough. I'm going to have to slow it on down so that you get a better sense of where they're moving. only raining at any one particular spot with these smaller showers, only about 5 minutes, but it'll come down heavily while it does. Have another comment coming in. Should we be concerned about storms tonight? Chest Bud Company. Do apologize. Some of the YouTube text is cutting off your avatar there on YouTube. But should we be concerned about storms tonight? There is a risk of severe weather, more so early Sunday morning. Now, for our West Metro counties, and that's a good question, and we're going to go ahead and slide into this timeline. Again, you were just looking at radar, what's actually happening outside. This is a forecast. What is forecast to happen going forward? And you can see at 4 p.m., basically current hour that we're in, even though we're closer to 5 p.m. now, forecast model has a pretty good handle on what is happening, and that is drizzle and spotty rain showers developing. First alert weather day, because wet weather could easily impact some of those Saturday evening plans. May get a little bit of a lull 7 to 8 p.m., but notice by 9-10, some heavier rain showers developing around the metro. There will be rain through the evening. I would not count on much of a break. At the very least, it's going to be drizzly and gloomy, and at times you might get a quick little heavy rain shower moving through. Initially, not much in the way of thunder and lightning, but that will change as we get into Sunday. Again, Sunday, first half of the day, first alert weather day. Not just the drizzle and the quick little rain showers we're having this afternoon, but a bona fide risk of severe weather moving in from the west. Here we are at 3 a.m. Cleburne, Randolph counties are 2 Alabama counties. And again, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and circle which areas I'm talking about just to draw emphasis to these locations. You know, as rain moves in, Cleburne and Randolph counties right here. Notice also what time it is. It is 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and we have a line of storms moving in from the west. These storms will be producing gusty winds, even if they aren't, 58 miles per hour or greater. That would qualify as severe wind. Even if they're not that strong, there likely will be quite a bit of wind with these thunderstorms moving through North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Again, that is 3 o'clock Sunday morning, so I'm going to give you a window far west, right along the state line, 2 to 4 a.m. That's a pretty good estimate to when showers and thunderstorms will be knocking on your door and making their presence known. Going forward in time a little bit further, again, as we get into the at least closer to sunrise hours on our Sunday morning. So we're going to draw this forward. Okay, computer took a second to catch up there. Let's draw it back. So here we are, 5 a.m. Quite a nasty little line of storms moving through Metro Atlanta, lining right up along that 75-85 corridor. So again, highlighting the worst part of this storm, probably, sticking out to you already. It's where the deepest reds and those purples are, where the most intense thunderstorm activity will be. And notice how this kind of, as I highlight the area of nasty weather, it kind of looks like a backward C. That tells me that the setup is going to be one that favors some really gusty winds with these storms, perhaps some widespread gusty winds as we get into early Sunday morning. And this is a time that many are sleeping. The winds can be really gusty, willing to bet. There's going to be some very loud booming thunder, and rain will be very heavy. Yolina Gar is watching from New York. Hopefully you're doing well up there. Big time cold headed your way up in the Northeast, New England, really much of the East Coast. That's beyond our severe weather risk, but another thing to watch in the extended portion of the forecast is a big switch to a less of a stormy pattern as far as thunderstorms are concerned, but one that is much, much colder across much of the central and eastern United States. Jesus Ramirez asking about Cobb County and Marietta. So everyone, no matter where you're streaming from across North Georgia, Jesus, has that risk of severe weather. So you have just as much of a risk as anyone else, just as much as Cleburne and Randolph counties, just as much as Eatonton and Putnam County, all the way up into the north and northeast Georgia mountains. And as far as timing for Marietta, and you've kind of commented at a good time here, I have this pause kind of in the general vicinity of when it will be moving through your area. I would say northwest metro 4 to 6 a.m. is when the weather will really go downhill. The worst of it may not last all that long, but you're going to get a good little burst of some rain, thunder, lightning, probably some wind with this as well. And within this line, we could see a very quick spin-up tornado or two as it moves through North Georgia. So again, for Marietta, for Cobb County, I would roughly say 4 to 6 is a good little window, northwest metro. And then maybe 5 to 7, so kind of overlapping windows there. But then again, Marietta and Atlanta not far from each other. Jesus, that's a good estimate right now, and we've seen some pretty good consistency. Keep in mind, this line of storms that is forecast to move through tomorrow morning is just now starting to get its act together across the Mid-South. There have been numerous tornadoes today, lots of hail, terrible weather, flooding across southeast Texas, getting into Louisiana. That is the makings, the beginning of this line of thunderstorms that'll be sweeping through North Georgia and Metro Atlanta as we get into the morning hours, early morning hours on our Sunday. So we're less than, 12 hours out from this starting to knock on our door and move into North Georgia. Sorry, just answering some questions coming in on my device as well. Again, that's what we're here to do. Keep you updated. As simple as answering a text or opening up that video that we just sent to the First Alert Weather app. In fact, I do have it. I'm going to open up the First Alert Weather app. For those that are streaming, may not be familiar with the First Alert Weather app. It's an easy tool to download and a really good one to have during times of severe weather. Again, 51, it's cloudy. Did just rain, depending on where this observation was taken. That is the video up top, and First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi also has her video in there from this morning. That one will expire soon, but we always have fresh information for you for free with little effort needed on your part, again, in the palm of your hand with the First Alert Weather app. Don't have any more questions coming in from Jesus, so I would say good window tomorrow morning, 4 to 6 a.m. That's when it's going to get dicey. Now let's go a little bit further in time. 5 to 7 a.m. roughly for the heart of the city of Atlanta. So very similar to that Marietta timeline, but obviously if storms are moving in from the west Cobb, Marietta likely to be impacted just a little bit earlier than perhaps the core of the city of Atlanta. And because we're streaming, data sometimes lags. It takes time to catch up. I'm not going to leave anyone out. We're going to bring it on back. Okay, here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 to 8 a.m. Notice where the worst of the weather is now. It is east of the city of Atlanta. Still raining, though. Probably still some lightning and thunder, but stretching from the upstate of South Carolina back towards roughly, Banks County on into Rockdale County, Newton-Walton counties, on down to maybe just east of Upson County, moving towards, Walton County, Clark-Oconee counties. This line of storms has made pretty quick progress. So from 4 to 8 a.m., it is almost, by that point, that 4-hour window by the end of it, almost moved across all of North Georgia, the entire Atlanta News First viewing area. So storms will be moving rather quickly, kind of giving impact or giving influence to the fact that this is going to be moving quickly and, bringing quite a bit of wind. We have wind above us that the heavy rain is going to help bring down to the surface, but also the fact that these storms alone are moving fast, that's going to kind of contribute and allow for storms to produce even greater amounts of wind. So looking pretty gusty with these storms. Like I said earlier, even if technically it doesn't reach that severe threshold, 58 mile per hour wind gusts or stronger, to be warned, for severe winds. Even if it's not that, still going to be pretty gusty at the very least with these storms moving through. Again, that is 8 o'clock Sunday, and then as we get deeper into the late kind of morning period here, going to bring it forward. It's doing that thing again because of the way we do this stream. Sometimes data lags just a little bit, but we're going to bring it back for you. We have it going. Here we are at noon. Technically, the worst of the weather is east of the entire Atlanta News First viewing area. Probably still breezy behind this line of rain and storms. Lots of clouds, some sprinkles, temperatures in the 60s. In fact, temperatures are going to warm up tonight into tomorrow morning, kind of giving rise to the fact that the risk of severe weather will increase in the early hours of Sunday morning. You may walk outside now and you say, hey, it's cold. It feels like winter. It's kind of a dreary, cold day. It is. But temperatures with a southerly wind are forecast to warm up just a bit and already are down I-85. For example, LaGrange already in the upper 50s, lower 50s in Atlanta, but that warmer air, warm enough for thunderstorm sort of air, will be increasing and expanding and moving into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta from southwest to north and east. Here is that risk of severe weather. Again, there could also be some road flooding out there underneath the heaviest downpours. It's been drizzling. We've had some heavy rain showers move through. We're going to have off and on heavy rain showers as we go deeper into the early evening time frame, after sunset, dinner time. So the soils are already saturated. Think of it like a sponge. We've had some recent rain over the past week or two, and the sponge is full, so whatever rain then falls, it is going to immediately run off. And go through the sponge, as the analogy speaks. So, yes, there could be some road flooding, but also watching that low-ish risk of some wind gusts, 55, 65 or so miles per hour. Hail is a possibility, but I don't think it's going to be big hail. I do think that there is going to be, pea-sized hail, nickel-sized hail, penny-sized hail. Technically, that's not big enough to need or necessitate a severe thunderstorm warning. That would have to be 1 inch in diameter, quarter size or bigger. But still a hail, it's noisy, it's distracting. You see it, you hear it, and you go, whoa. So there could be some hail, even though relatively small, unlikely to cause any dents in the storms as they move through tomorrow morning. And within that line of storms, the same line is going to produce gusty straight line winds. There could be a quick little spin up tornado or two as it moves through, really anywhere in North Georgia. But I'd say in general, metro Atlanta points south, bit of a lower risk up in the North Georgia mountains and Northeast Georgia mountains tomorrow morning. Nonetheless, that risk even there is not quite zero. Now, if you want to look at this in a map sense, here's today's risk of severe weather. Obviously, severe weather outbreak is underway. Moderate risk of severe weather. You don't see this all the time, extending from deep East Texas through Alexandria and central Mississippi. And the orange there, that's a level 3 out of 5, an enhanced risk of severe weather, 2 out of 5, a slight risk of severe weather in yellow. This forecast goes through tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So they are saying between now and 7 a.m., keep in mind, that's right in the middle of when storms are moving through the area. Between now and 7 a.m., there is a slight risk of severe weather along our state line counties and into the far west metro. Now, between 7 a.m. on our Sunday, and for us, about noon on our Sunday, this is the forecast risk of severe weather from the same Storm Prediction Center. And again, unfortunately, storms are moving through kind of in that forecast cutoff, day 1 versus day 2. That's why you're going to see this kind of map jump a little bit. And zooming back in a little bit closer to home, you'll notice that the slight risk of severe weather now goes all the way up into the Northeast Georgia mountains, generally south and east of I-85. And that's simply because by 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m., storms will already or are already forecast to be over the 75-85 corridor, the immediate metro Atlanta area, and then shifting off to the east. Now, this won't last until 7 o'clock Monday morning by any means. It's really for that area shaded in yellow. It's really a 7 a.m. to noon slight risk of severe weather. Jesus Ramirez saying, do you think we will get snow, some snow this year? Well, the mountains, Northeast Georgia mountains, North Georgia mountains, Brasstown, Bald, those areas have already seen a couple rounds of flurries. Blue Ridge has seen a few, periods of flurries with our cold fronts as they move through and the systems behind them. As far as widespread snow, there's nothing currently in the forecast, but what I will say is that beyond all of this severe weather, we are looking at a whole-scale kind of pattern change, full-scale pattern change, as we get into the latter portion of next week, even more so the week following. So we're talking 10 to 14-ish, 2 weeks or so out from now. Big-time cold is a possibility across much of the eastern United States, possibly also the central United States. Now, that's just one ingredient that you need in order to get winter weather in the Deep South. However, yes, it looks like a big colder switch, and something we'll have to watch out for is, do we have any, passing storm systems once the cold air is already in place? That is something we will be working to fine-tune, something we will be monitoring in the extended portion of the forecast. But our immediate concern is kind of in the nearest portion of the first alert forecast, next, not even 24 hours, 12 to maybe 18 hours. We're tracking that risk of severe storm Sunday morning. Now is, as I mentioned earlier, a good time to download the First Alert Weather app. Looks like this. It's going to be orange. Going to be an orange icon in your app or Google Play Store. Make sure you do have your alerts turned on in the First Alert Weather app. Jesus asked, do you think we might get some snow? Maybe you didn't catch. I think there's a little bit of a delay between, when I speak and when you actually hear it on your device. But Jesus, there's no snow in the forecast. It is very early in the winter season, and we have cold weather on the way. Just one ingredient that you need, but I can't say no. It's a maybe. It's a meteorologist maybe, unfortunately. But of course, we will give you the first alert, and if winter weather becomes likely, we'll be sure to be the first ones to give you that heads up. On a stream like this one, maybe Atlanta News First Plus, also at AtlantaNewsFirst.com, and in the First Alert Weather app. First Alert Weather app, speaking of, great tool to have for the next 24 hours or so, 12 to 18, really, it's always a good tool, right? But especially during severe weather. So tomorrow morning, make sure you have at least one way to get severe weather alerts. First Alert Weather app is a great way to do that. It's free, it's an easy download, and you can customize it so that you only get what you want to get. For example, if you don't want to be buzzed all the time, make sure you only select tornado warnings and maybe tornado watches. And that means that you will be less interrupted, but you will get that really necessary information to keep you, your family, and your loved ones safe. Logan Couch is saying, is it going to hit Northwest Georgia's severe weather? Yes, there's a risk of severe weather in Northwest Georgia. We'll go back to day 1. Again, this is through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice there is a slight risk of severe weather all the way up into southern Tennessee, including northwest Georgia. So, yes, there is a level 2 out of 5 slight risk of severe weather, Logan, there. And then that risk will only slide eastward and expand to include the rest of North Georgia after 7 a.m. or around and then after 7 a.m. on our Sunday. Logan, you may have missed this portion of the stream. I'm going to go ahead and walk you back really quickly. Focusing in on when storms do move into northwest Georgia. Again, there's going to be quite a bit of drizzle and some scattered rain showers this evening and tonight. Time to watch for northwest Georgia. I would say maybe 4 to 6 a.m. or so. Rome, Floyd County, Chattooga County, on up towards Calhoun, Georgia, the greater, Chattanooga metro area. That's a window for you. I would say possibly as early as, 4 to 6 a.m., depending on exactly where you are, because northwest Georgia, of course, is a pretty big little corner of the state. It really just depends on exactly where you're watching from, Logan. But, yes, risk of severe weather in northwest Georgia tomorrow, and there will be a guarantee of at least a brief period of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. Not everyone sees severe weather, but everyone sees heavy rain and probably flashes of lightning, and you're going to hear that booming thunder for a time early Sunday morning. I want to remind you the First Alert Weather Team, we all have you covered. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez. We have team coverage tomorrow morning if needed. First Alert Meteorologist Rodney Harris, First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, all here to keep you updated. We do have another Atlanta News First Plus stream like this one scheduled on the docket for 8 p.m. You can stream it anywhere you are watching this particular ANF Plus stream. And a reminder that also, in addition to the First Alert Weather app, you can also just plop down in front of the TV this evening. It's kind of a drizzly one out there. Maybe you're not getting out and about. We should actually have a proper newscast today, 6 p.m. on Atlanta News First, WANF. Hopefully sports or anything does not run over. I do believe we do have football on CBS, but we're slated to have a 6 p.m., and with any luck we will, even if we don't, as the other sources I told you about are as they exist. And they do. We'll continue to keep you updated. So because of technology and just the way things are today, we have so many ways to keep you updated. And just because we may have sports, covering up a newscast, doesn't mean you can't catch the latest news headlines. Also, First Alert Forecast on ANF Plus and the First Alert Weather app. Logan is watching from Walker County. So Walker County in general, I would say maybe 3 to 5 a.m. that far north and west. And yes, you will see storms. And yes, Logan, up in Walker County, you do have a risk of severe weather with these storms as they very swiftly roll through the area early tomorrow morning. Again, we're going to leave you with a gloomy look at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. First Alert Weather Day today, drizzle and scattered rain impacting those plans. First Alert Weather Day through noon tomorrow because of the risk of not drizzle and, spotty rain, but bona fide heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and embedded severe thunderstorms, a risk for your Sunday morning. We will be keeping you updated. If you can't catch us at 6, remember, next ANF Plus stream starts tonight at 8 p.m. Get those questions ready. I'm here to keep you updated. We'll have some new data coming in by then as well with an even better idea of exactly when those storms will arrive in your neighborhood. Again, that is coming up tonight at 8.